Morning, good morning. Welcome on this cold, beautiful, sunny day. My name is Reverend Tamara Merrill, and I'm one of the staff ministers here at Interlight. I'm in alignment with Grace and Beth and everybody else. You know, what's happening here is there's a blending going on. You know, there is a true merging of our hearts going on in this community. And it's so nice to see all the people. And I have been privileged and honored to have been a part of Inner Light for many years. And so I want to say that has been such a blessing. I've been gone for about 4.5, 5 weeks. We missed you. Thank you. I was doing a lot of hospice work for a friend of mine, and and then another congregate here, Sue. I went to see Sue, and then I got sick, and it turned into pneumonia. And as I looked at what pneumonia represents in Louise Hay's book, How to Heal Your Body, it has to do with grief. And I thought how apropos that was for me to take a month off. It felt a little bit like COVID at times. But the breath, the lungs, they are totally part of the essence of everything we do every moment, breath of life. So it makes sense that my lungs were in distress over me releasing, some deep love and loved ones, physical presence that are going on to transition into the next journey. I'd like right now for all of us to take 3 deep breaths in together. Really grounds me too, all right? So, ready? Let's take 1 deep breath in. Hold. Release. Breathe in. Hold. And release. Last one, breathe in, hold, and release. Thank you. Right now, I would invite you to think of an intention that you would like to receive and take home with you from this whole experience of the beautiful music, the practitioner's prayer, and the message. And so the topic today is what Elijah has been talking about, authenticity. And for me, authenticity has a lot to do with opening our hearts. So I'd like you to unlock your heart and unblock your heart as maybe one of your intentions, because vulnerability is a very courageous thing to do, no matter in what form it is, whether it's singing a song about our parents transitioning or just being open-hearted to the person next to you. It's a powerful experience that we have in every present moment, that sometimes we fill it with such clutter of garbage, right? But to value each present moment is the best gift we could give ourselves. So I'm going to have 30 seconds of silence for you to go in. If unlock and unblock your heart isn't for you, it could be, I want to thrive instead of strive and struggle. So either something that can carry you into your week, that supports you in aligning your thoughts and your heart with what you want to demonstrate and experience in your life. Because each moment is a choice. So if I invite you again to go in with me, pick, I want to thrive, not struggle, or unlock and unblock your heart, or whatever comes to you. So here we go. Let's go in with a deep breath and an intention and sit. And release. Thank you. So this morning is a continuation of what Elijah's been talking about all month about authenticity. And authenticity, I was having several discussions, and the best definition I found for me was that authenticity and the power of authenticity is about aligning your actions and your thoughts with the knowledge in your soul. It's not about being authentic that you can say whatever you want to say, tell anybody you want to tell off, because, I'm being authentic. You really, I don't like you. You really need to be mad. It's not a time to be a brat and tell people what you think of them, I'm authentic, I don't like you, so I'm telling you what I think, Counter that to one of my favorite teachers, Terry Cole Whitaker, who I worked with many, many years. She says, what you think of me is none of my business. So it's not about authenticity saying whatever you want to say because I'm being authentic. Because truly, our authenticity comes from our soul. One of the things that really excited me was when we were talking about how our thinking is very powerful, but our brain is the least smartest organ in our body. And when you think about that, that's pretty scary, I'm not saying it's not great. It's science, surgeons who work on your body, I'm glad they have all that knowledge. But the very first brain that's developed in the fetus is the brain in your heart. Your heart has a brain. Like every cell in your body has a brain. And what's so amazing to me is a lot of the things that quantum physics and different New England Journal of Medicine has been talking about is that how the DNA now can be split, right? And we can now split the DNA and, I lost my thought. Okay, I got it. The cells can be split, and the DNA is separate from the epigenome. And the epigenome is the really intelligent part of the cell. And that has all the information on who it is, so that when something enters our body like COVID, it says, the body goes, oh my God, there's COVID here, let's arm up and defend our body, right? And so now they're learning through vaccine therapy that they don't have to actually give us a part of the vaccine, they only have to give the epigenome, which is the part that gives the information to the body without giving the part of that vaccine of the actual potent virus. So in 2016, I want to talk about this because this is part of authenticity too, is where our information comes from. It comes from our soul. It comes from the connection of our soul. So if you point to your brain right now, at least I think that's where my brain is. This, when it is disconnected or broken and not connected to the heart, is not a tool for higher consciousness or authenticity. Right. It's not. Because it leads us down very falsehoods of ego and false beliefs and opinions and judgments and all kinds of wonderful things like that. So where our heart is, that brain navigates us to our soul. And when we're super lonely, super depressed, and we're looking for something out there, we're always being called back to connect with the soul, with our own soul, with a love affair with why we're here, who we are, what we're to do with the gifts that we have. That's our purpose, is finding gifts to give and serve others. That's why I feel we're here. It's not about all the games we play. I think there's a song out there somewhere about trying to fit in, trying to figure it out, trying to be liked, trying to belong. Because belonging is important, because we know one thing, that we are all one. And we're an individualized expression here on this planet, in this form, in this body. The soul is the birthless, deathless energy that's infinite and will continue beyond this body. The brain and our hearts will never navigate us wrong if we keep alignment with what we know is true. That there is a higher power, no matter what name you want to give it, no matter if you want to call it God, universal presence, universal power. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that we know we're connected to something larger than this. That there's something more. And no matter what you have in life or don't have in life, or experienced or not experienced, it's never too late, because the present moment, we can create an experience that not only gives us joy, but brings joy. And I think each and every one of us, that's why we're here, to experience more joy, to experience more happiness, and also to assist others in alleviating their suffering. Whatever someone is suffering, that is a powerful gift, to just be with someone, to be present. And the biggest word of all is love, unconditional love. And I believe that that higher power, that the only thing, both Ernest Holmes and Reverend Deborah said in Inner Light, she said, the only prayer that ever needs healing is the sense of separation from God. Because we are never separated from who we are. Because who we are, God knows itself as us. We are a part of something bigger, and we go back to that essence. That is what I know. How many people just know there's something more than this?
Yes, yes.
There's just something more. It's the mystery, but it's almost like a lot of religions talk about the veil that covers our understanding. Because this is a beautiful thing. But the intelligence in one cell has more information, like millions more times information than a cell in your brain. It has a lot to work to do. I mean, as we're sitting here, our blood is flowing, our heart is beating, I see you, you see me, I hear things. It's truly amazing of all the work that's going on as I stand here right now in my body. And what's fascinating to me is through science, which we love to marry religion and science, that's why we're called religious scientists, is that the vaccine therapy, how many have heard about treating cancer with vaccine therapy? Has anybody in here heard it? One person? Well, back in 2016, I was standing in front of Safeway's, you know, where they have all the candy and all the magazines right in front as they're standing in line. And I saw the cover of Time magazine. And it was Kim Kardashian's butt was on the front of Time magazine. You know, anyway, on the bottom of Time magazine, as I was glancing down, in little red letters, it said, "New cancer therapy now provides by now the FDA approves of vaccine cancer therapy." And it was way down on the bottom. And I was like, wow, shouldn't that be in the middle of the front page? I mean, holy cow. So I bought the magazine, and the lady goes, "You like Kim Kardashian?" I'm going to read the article. Yeah, sure, you're going to read the article. Don't look at the pictures, huh? So as I was reading the article, I was blown away. So I did some research on it. And in 2016, there had been a 15-year study, and they did the last 5 years on humans after they did the testing on animals. And they took HIV virus, and they made that virus dormant. And then they gave it to men with stage 4 brain cancer. Now, when I was a little girl, I was raised religious science. My mother would tell me when I got sick that there were little soldiers inside me that were going to fight the germs, and I was going to get better. And I would just to visualize these little soldiers having a battle. And the truth is cancer is considered by our body a friendly foe. It doesn't get rid of it. It says, oh, it's cancer. It's supposed to be here. And then the cancer goes, hey, well, I'll just take a little bit more elbow room here. And then pretty soon the cancer is taking a lot of elbow room and killing its host. And what this vaccine did, a lot of people were very concerned because they thought, oh, you're putting HIV virus in me. It's dormant. You cannot get the HIV. They just put the codes in, the intelligent codes of our cell, the cell of the virus, into telling our cells that there is a foreign substance in our body. Well, guess what? HIV is stronger than cancer. So the HIV goes into the body and it destroys all the cancer and all the tumors within 2 weeks. Ate all the tumors. The person became cancer-free. Wow. Now, the caveat there is because they have to put so much so much of the dormant virus in the body that you get a very high temperature, like 103, 104. And some people don't do well, especially little ones. They could have brain damage from that. But in 2 weeks, they became cancer-free. That virus, dormant virus, ate all the cancer in each and every man that they did, put it into their body. It ate all the cancer in their brain. Wow. And the recidivism rate was 0. And then they said, well, why don't we try something else? So they were trying the measles vaccine on stage 4 leukemia in children. And sure enough, they were very concerned because of the high temperatures, because children can die at 104, especially if it gets to 105. They did it. Within 2 weeks, there was no cancer in the children. How many years has that been? That has been 7 years, right? Yeah. Where is it? And what I'm saying is there's so many miracles happening that we don't know about. And part of it is because we're so preoccupied, I think, about image, about not being authentic, about belonging, and about overcoming shame and overcoming disappointment and overcoming our expectations of others. That gets us in a lot of trouble. It gets me in a lot of trouble. And authenticity is when we could be ourselves and honor that self that we know is the truth of who we are, the big T. That inner guidance that is compassionate and elegant in giving and receiving information to others. So being authentic is about being able to be present in the moment and say, I'm not feeling great today, but I'm sure glad I'm here. And what's going on with you? Because the only way to be happy is if we can give our gifts and serve others. There's nothing else. People always want to be loved. But it's the one thing that you can only get love if you give it. It doesn't work the other way. I mean, how many people have been in love with someone who didn't love them? man, how could they not love me? But it happens, right? And how many times has someone loved you that you weren't interested, right? Love comes and is generated from here. It's only our ideology or ideas that all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, I can align with that one. They say, oh yeah, I can align with you too. But love comes from here and here, not out there. But the times we really feel it is when we can give it away to our dog, to our cat, when we see something, our children. It's something that brings us joy, but it generated from God within. So the whole point is to be connected to our soul. And authenticity is about aligning our thoughts and our actions and our words so that when we're in the present moment, we can be authentic and be who we are. And remember that we're never alone and that we never, ever are disconnected from God. We're never separated. If we remember that, we can go through the trials and the tribulations that confront us many times. I just want to tell you that I'm so very honored to be here today and feeling well and healthy, and know that within any darkness, there is so much beautiful lessons to be learned so that we could come out and see more clearly. And with that, I want to tell you a quick, might not be quick, a story that I got off the internet many years ago. And Marianne Williamson she did a great interpretation of it. And I think I talked about it about a year ago, but it's about the eagle and the snake. Anybody remember the eagle and the snake? Well, good. So, the lesson I want to give forth to you is in the analogy of the eagle and the snake. When you're confronting this week about being open, authentic, in alignment with your intention, think of this. The snake is very powerful on the ground. It's always a representation of sometimes a lot of darkness, but very savvy, very powerful. The eagle never, ever fights the snake on the ground because it's too powerful. So the eagle grabs the snake and lifts it into his battleground, the air, which represents light and all different kinds of healing modalities. So the eagle picks the snake up where it's vulnerable, powerless, and then once the snake relaxes, the eagle drops it, and of course it falls to its death. But the point is this: it takes it to a different battleground of higher consciousness, of a higher place, that how it moves on earth, on the ground, is not where we deal with our problems. We don't deal with our problems in our ego, in our judgments. We take our problems to a higher consciousness, to the alignment of being positive, about having an intention of reconciliation, of having our heart lead the way. We have been given a bunch of misinformation about the heart. Oh, don't follow the heart, that gets you in trouble. It's going to be broken. And how many people do that? They shut down. They block and lock their hearts. So, thank you so much for being willing to just sit this week when things arise with being this wonderful, effective human being that's saying, I'm going to align my thoughts and my deeds, my words and my actions with my authenticity of being who I am and follow with my heart. So again, thank you today and blessings, and I'm going to go into a prayer. So I know one thing, that by design, not by merit, we are given this great gift of life. And in this great gift of life, we have so many choices. This I know, that I will choose absolute authenticity, to be in the present moment, to know that Spirit has my back, that as I sit and deeply listen to the person or the tree that is in front of me, I listen to the wisdom that brings back my connection, the beautiful connection of using my head and my heart, and the brain in my heart, and the brain in my head, to allow me to follow a path of peace, of compassion, of generosity, of the elegance of walking my true nature, the spiritual path in which I was born into this body to express, to be, to give the gifts. And I know this for each and every one of you. And in walking your walk, no matter what troubles befall, may you surround it with love and compassion and find the gems, the rainbows, and the deep understanding that pushes through all the pain to see the vision of where to go next. And in this, there is nothing but gratitude. There is nothing but grace. Thank you for my life. Thank you for each and every one of your lives. For we all make a difference as we walk this beautiful path called life. And so it is.